Good morning, boys and girls. Today is Tuesday, February 18th, 2025. I have to remind myself it's Tuesday and not Monday. I hope everybody had a great 3-day weekend. Today, our Patriot Pride life lesson is just a couple of questions that I wrote down. Questions that I want you to think about as we go through this week. Questions that come to mind when I'm thinking and listening to people in the building. So I want you to think about this. Question number 1. How are we speaking to each other here at school? How are you talking to your friends? How are you talking to adults in the building? I want you to think about that because how we speak to each other kind of tells us how our day's going to go, kind of tells us how we're treating each other with respect or no respect. It kind of tells us how we're gonna move through our day, how we're building friendships. I want you to think about that. So here's the question. How are we speaking to each other here at school? That means when you're in the library, it means when you're in the cafeteria, it means when no adults are around you. It means just thinking about that. How are you speaking? How are we speaking to each other? Next question. How are we creating a safe space to learn and grow? So I want you to think about that. Because in your classrooms, if you're disruptive or you're not speaking kindly to each other, I want you to think that it doesn't just affect you. It affects the people around you and how they're growing and learning. So when you come to school, the expectation from your parents, for you guys, is that you come into a safe space. A safe space to ask questions, a safe space to grow and learn and create. So I want you to think about that. The question is, how are we, that means we, all of us, adults, students, how are we creating a safe space to learn and grow? My last question for you today is, what is your purpose for coming to school? I want you to think about that. What is your purpose? I think that means each of us thinking about that. I know what my purpose is when I come to school every day because I talk about this every day. I come here to make sure I'm doing my job every day. And I want to make sure I do it with the best intentions. So how are you coming to school? Like, what's your purpose? Are you coming here to grow? Are you coming here to learn something new? Are you coming here because it's a safe space and it's good to be here around friends? Are you coming here to, just want you to think about this. Are you coming here to create distractions? So what is your purpose for coming to school? Okay? All right, so I want you to think about those questions this week. For lunch today, turkey and noodles, whipped potatoes with gravy, warm dinner rolls, seasoned green beans, and chilled mixed fruit. We have a couple of birthdays today, Samuel Barkley and Laylee Huber. Happy birthday. Just a couple of reminders. I think our yearbooks, the sale ends this week on Friday, if I'm correct. So if you want a yearbook, make sure you get that in. On Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock, the Girl Scouts are gonna have a call out for kindergarten and first grade girls that are interested in joining Girl Scouts, and that will be in the cafeteria. As a reminder, because today is Tuesday, we are here 4 days this week. So 4 days, not 5. So I know we gotta get a lot in 4 days. And if you didn't notice, the temperatures this week are Arctic temperatures. So we are going to be cold. It's going to be cold if you are outside waiting on a bus. It's going to be cold when you go out to leave the building. It also means that we end up inside for recess and not outside. I made some suggestions that we need to make sure that we're still active even though we're in the building, finding ways to be active with our bodies and our brains because our brains work better when our bodies are active. So we need to think about that. Make sure you come prepared with your coats, gloves, hats, all the things. One last thing, I know we still have illnesses all around us. We have viruses that are kind of working their way through. And so I want to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves here in the building. Make sure that you are washing your hands. Make sure that when you are coughing or sneezing, you're using your elbow. Okay, make sure that we are doing our very best to keep everybody as healthy as we can. And it's very typical of this time of year because we're all kind of closed in and we get stuck inside a lot. But again, boys and girls, I want you to be healthy. Make sure you're getting a good night's rest. You're drinking plenty of liquids. You are doing all the things that you can to take care of yourself. I don't know about you guys, but I had a really busy weekend with a visit from my son who lives in Tennessee, so I was very happy about that. That means that we've got to get back to work, right? And I am ready, but we need to get focused, and we need to think about this, so we're going to close our eyes. We're going to sit up straight and take those 3 deep breaths to help us get our brains in the right place. Here we go. Deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. One last deep breath in and out. Thank you, boys and girls. Can you join me for a moment of silence, please? All right, thank you. Make sure you do the Pledge of Allegiance in your classrooms with honor. And at this point in time in the year, boys and girls, our expectation always, we're going to hold you to it. How are you being safe? How are you being respectful? How are you being responsible? I hope you have a great day today and a great week.